Okay, let's talk through all these golf events that you have coming up.
Gabby, I'm glad you asked. Got my calendar right here. July 17th at Red Run, and then July 31st, I have the American Golf Outing for the Cancer Society.
I also have the American Cancer Society golf outing on the 31st, and also I got yours on the 18th, buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
Boys, these are a lot of events and golf outings.
Well, you want me to miss my own golf tournament?
Gabby, they're all great calls.
I mean, this is
Hold on. I got this. Guys, I got this. Don't worry about it. Hold on a second.
He always.
Hey guys, thanks for coming so fast. How are ya? Remember you guys, Randy Wise, right? Sir. The Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
Watch for the eye.
Stay tuned.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports, and some, well, not so much. Brought to you in part by Premier Security Solutions, Fairway Packing Company, and Swiss Insurance. Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
Good morning, everybody. It's the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Jeff Iafrate, Sam Flannel, Gabby D. Phillips. And unfortunately today we don't have a microphone for Lucas or JB, but we're out at Dispo in Romeo, the most beautiful cannabis mall I think I've ever seen in my entire lifetime. Sam, for you, you're not a cannabis, you don't indulge in it, but the first time you see this place, I mean, it's got to shock the hell out of you.
I mean, even I know how immaculate it is. You walk in, it's so huge, it's like a cannabis mall, and especially when we come here, I love the way that we're treated. The owners do a great job of making us feel at home, making us feel welcome, making us honestly feel like kings out here, and it's been a great experience every single time. Even as somebody who does not partake, I encourage every single one of you who do to come here to the Dispo in Romeo.
It's amazing. And again, Sean and Darren, they welcome us every single time we come down here. We'll be down here all day, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. It's going to be a party down here at Dispo. You're going to want to be here. They got vendors inside. They got all types of cannabis for you, anything you'd love. I want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in. Just to give some shout-outs, we got Real Queen of Wheat in here, Chuck, Mike G, Alex, A Taste with Trav. Everybody, if you're near Romeo, pull up and say hello to us and our friends over at Dispo. We got a lot of stuff planned for today's show. At 6 o'clock today, Sam, NBA free agency starts.
Oh, yes.
The second round of the NHL draft has wrapped up yesterday, along with some other things as well. Harrison Barnes signs his extension officially. One more free agent off the board for the Pistons. We got some lists to go over later in the show as well. A lot of Lions to talk about, to no one's surprise. Top 25, under 25 list. I want to get Sam's reaction to it, and you guys as well. ESPN ranks the Lions roster 17th in the NFL. Too high, too low, or just right? We're going to get into it all, but before we do, we got Gabby joining us as well. Gabby, how you feeling?
Pretty good. It's a little bit of a odd setup here. I'm behind you guys, but we're making it work, and it is going to be a great show. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, listen, we're always prepared. Even if she's behind us, we're going to figure it out. We'll find a way to make it happen.
Guess what also is today? We have trivia today.
Yes, we do.
Oh, yes.
Yes, we do.
The topic is a complete surprise to Jeff and Flannel, and I think all the questions will be a complete surprise as well, because what do you guys know about the Rocket Mortgage Classic?
Oh, jeez.
Well, you know what? When it comes to trivia, no matter what it is, no matter what the topic, to quote my man Lucas Klotz, this is when it comes to me. Jeff's ceiling is my floor. He is still yet to beat me. I am undefeated, never lost, to quote LeVar Ball. I'm just a quoting machine, but when it comes to trivia, I am El Capitano. I know I'm new to the desk, but Jeff, I'm still number one in
Sam,
trivia.
Just admit it, you're a robot.
I'm a robot.
I've called you a robot multiple times. You're not a human being. So when we do trivia, I see your brain working live in real time, like these things popping into your head. I'm not great at trivia.
It's all right.
And I'm also not great at golf. So Rocket Mortgage Classic, I'm not confident in it, but it's going to be great. You're going to want to stick around for that. But I do want to start and kind of go through some of the moves the Red Wings made yesterday. Again, a trade was made. Yamamoto was acquired for future considerations as well. So great trade, I think, for the Red Wings there, picking up solid contributors. But along with the second, third, fourth, fifth, 6th rounds and 7th rounds of the entire draft. And I'm going to go through some of these guys. In the second round, they got Trey Augustine, Andrew Gibson, Brady Cleveland. The third round, they got Noah Dower Nielsen, Larry Keenan. In the 4th round. In the 5th round, they picked up Jack Thielen? Man, I hate pronouncing NHL names. This stinks. Kevin Bicker, Rudy Gaumond, and then Emmett Finney in the 7th round. We'll see if any of these guys become anything.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? But for me, at least we're a day removed from the NHL draft. After D-Mac's rant yesterday and Neil, and I appreciate those guys because they hold it down, anything Red Wings related, and we tried to voice our opinions in the morning. I thought we got out a lot of great stuff. But Neil and Darren pretty much, and you were there for it, I think hit the nail on the head. But you went to war with Neil.
I did go to war with Neil a little bit, but I got to be honest. I really like the Kyler Yamamoto deal. I think it's a little bit of an under-the-radar signing. As a lot of people who are Red Wings fans, who are hockey fans, it's been a treat and a pleasure to watch the Edmonton Oilers over the last couple of years because they have arguably the most talented player to ever play the sport in his prime, Connor McDavid, and arguably the second-best offensive player in the game in Leon Draisaitl all on the same team. They are a privilege to watch, but every time I would watch them, I would notice this guy named Kyler Yamamoto who just flashed off of the screen to me and made a ton of big plays. And it's evidenced by that because just on the 2022 season, he was a 40-point scorer in a full season, so about a half a point a game guy. We're not asking him to be a first-line guy, probably a third-line scorer. But at the same time, one of my hot takes is that Kyler Yamamoto is a 50-point scorer this season. No doubt about it.
And, yeah, I mean, like Neil kind of hit on it yesterday, when he was in the line, and this is with anybody, with Connor McDavid, but when he was on the same line as McDavid, he produced.
Yes.
So playing with good players, he plays well. But again, we'll see how he plays for the Red Wings. Another player that was acquired, Klim Kostin as well. And sorry, I didn't mention him. He was included in the trade. Again, and Mike G says it best, big Russian kid. Yeah, that sounds about right. Again, moving forward into free agency for the Pistons and the Red Wings, that's where things are going to get interesting. They both have money to spend. That's part of it. The other part of it is really seeing what the Pistons and what their options are right now. I mean, you Harrison Barnes is off the market. You'd assume now Cam Johnson's price goes up. Like at this point, things are at least signing players to me seems a little more unlikely. I think the best route to go, especially with the new CBA, is to wait for these teams that dump guys they can't afford. Mm-hmm. And I think the Pistons' best route right now in the offseason is to be via trade rather than signing players because Cam Johnson, and this is just a feeling of mine, since Harrison Barnes was, you got Cam Johnson, Harrison Barnes, you got the top-tier guy like a Cam Johnson who people are going to expect to pay a max contract to, and then Harrison Barnes, who you think would get roughly half of what Cam would get. Well, Harrison Barnes is gone. Yep. So if I'm Cam Johnson, the leverage, you even have more leverage at this moment. So I don't know if his price goes up. I don't know how that works, but all I know is, Sam, I'm going to stay consistent. I don't want to overpay for Cam Johnson.
Well, if you're going to get Cam Johnson, you're going to have to overpay for him no matter what because he is a restricted free agent. I would maybe stop short at $30 million a year. I don't know if I'd be comfortable giving him 4 years, $120 million. But at the same time, Cam Johnson is exactly what the Pistons need, and I think they would make the play-in next year with Cam Johnson. But as we'll talk about later, there are some under-the-radar free agents that the Pistons could maybe look at signing that could help this team. And a couple of them I think are more valuable than you might think on the surface.
No, I can't wait. We're going to get to it all. Another thing that happened as well, at least in recent sports news, and I want to talk about this too. We're outside, and the whole wildfire stuff, it's a little smoky, but I promise you this is probably cannabis. This isn't wildfire smoke. This is definitely cannabis. It's good to be out here. I'm excited. And again, we have a packed show planned for you and a packed Dave planned for you guys. I'm telling you, if you're near Romeo, you need to pull up to this place. We'll be here all day. We got Big D Energy pulling up, Lindsey Hunter, Neil Rule as well. They'll be here. And then Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, of course. And we got the heavyweights, which, again, to close out with the heavyweights, you guys are going to want to stay tuned for that. I want to get to some of these comments. People are chiming up in the chat here. Kiazi says Jeff is slick. He switched up to the Pistons from the Red Wings so smoothly, just like his transitions to commercials. Kiazi, I got to be on point. I got to be on point. Definitely, no doubt about it. Mike G says, for sure, Jeff, something has got to give in Boston. Can't pay them all. Also, Calgary is having a fire sale, too. Players want out. Yeah, and I think that's the path for the Red Wings as well. Trading for players. Again, if you have assets and you have cap space, trading for players is the route to go. Let's see. Philip C. says, Klein threatening to go back to Russia. He does not want Detroit. Let's see here. Real Cream of Wheat also in the chat. Cobezilla says, Jesus, Jeff, put a hat on. It pains me to see you squinting so much. I'm sorry. What do you want from me? I'm going to get sunglasses later on in the show, but right now, I didn't expect the sun. It's nice out. No, Last time we were here, it was a damn hurricane.
No, it was.
So this is new.
It was a damn hurricane, and now it's nice outside. And if Jeff Iafrate is squinting, I certainly am squinting as well. And you know what? It's okay. I'm doing the best that I can. I don't have sunglasses with me. If somebody wants to hook me up with some, I would definitely take some. Lucas Klotz, look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Yeah, I do. Lucas Sam Flannel gets the sunglasses.
I get the sunglasses. Now I'm not squinting anymore.
It's
Now
not
you
fair.
can't see my eyes, which
not
I
fair.
think to a lot of people are probably happy about that. But you know what? You can all suck it because I am. There's one lady that matters. How she feels.
Oh,
Just
gosh.
one.
All right.
Just one.
He's a loyal man. He's
I'm
a loyal
man.
Lucian says, when is Flannel getting stoned, Jeff? Well, unfortunately, we're not doing that. Sam, I didn't want to make Sam do something. Because, Sam, you don't indulge in cannabis. It's not
I do
fair
not.
for me to make you do it under your will. Maybe I can sneak it in something, but I'm not going to do that.
Oh, you're going to drug me, Jeff?
Lucas was going to do it, but unfortunately we don't have a camera for Lucas. So, again, he's still going to do it. He just won't be on camera, essentially. But we'll see. Maybe we'll indulge in some later on in the show. I would do it, but, again, I got a show to host. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's smart for me to do it.
No, I wouldn't do it if I were you. It's a whole different animal being the person who hosts the show and drives the show. If you want to try to do that after an edible, good luck. It's not going to work out well.
A taste what Trav says, weed, food, family, what more do you need? I mean, that's fair as well. Let's see. Detroit Dabber 313 says, God forbid Sam actually gets some pigment to his complexion. Yeah,
That's a good point.
That's a solid point. Brady's got the sunglasses. My guy. Oh, yeah. Now we got some Top Gun shades.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're locked in.
We are locked
Let's
in.
go. We got a packed show. Funky says, Sam says he's loyal and in the same breath offers himself to people who suck. Be consistent.
Who do I offer to who sucks?
I mean, Data Davis.
Oh, yeah, that guy sucks. Future Hall of Famer,
You called
first ballot
Carl
Hall-
Anthony Towns a Hall of Famer,
Which he is.
Well, okay.
Absolutely.
Well, maybe you are already high. I don't know. If you're saying Carl Anthony Towns is a Hall of Famer, we're gonna go to break. When we get back, I want to get into this list here that I found yesterday on CBS Sports, and essentially it's a top 25 players under 25 list. I'll tell you if they feature Panay Sewell and Amon-Ra St. Brown and where they rank, and we'll see if you guys agree or disagree. But before we do, I got to tell you about our friends over at Big Boy, because, guys, Strawberry Fest is officially back at Big Boy. Try classic breakfast items like some strawberry hot cakes or mouth-watering red velvet waffles. But if you're not feeling breakfast, you can try the strawberry bacon chicken wrap or cool off with the refreshing summer splash salad. Don't forget to get dessert as well, including their berry delicious classic strawberry pie, deep-fried vanilla Oreos, or strawberry hot fudge cake, and so much more at Big Boy.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Jeff Iafrate, Sam Flannel, Gabby D. Phillips, Lucas, and JB are with us in spirit because they don't have a camera right now. They will not be on camera. So
They are here.
unfortunately, you may hear opinions from the background, but they're not going to be on the show today. They'll be back Monday. But guys, I want to get to this list, the top 25 players under 25, and get everyone's reaction to it. I found this yesterday on CBS Sports. It is an article written by Cody Benjamin. And again, it's simple. Top 25 players, 25 and under. Very simple list. And, I mean, you'd assume at least what it looks like at the very top. It's pretty self-explanatory. I don't think there'll be too many disagreements, Sam. At number one, you have Justin Jefferson. Any problem with that?
Depending on who's after him.
Okay.
On the surface, it sounds good.
So you got Jalen Hurts, 2.
No. I think Jalen Hurts is a little bit too high. And I like Jalen Hurts. He obviously played a great Super Bowl last year, had a MVP caliber season last year. I think he finished second, and he probably would have won Super Bowl MVP. He definitely would have won Super Bowl MVP if the Eagles would have won. But I think Jalen Hurts is too high.
Yeah, well, especially when you see who's behind him. Nick Bosa at 3.
I'll move Nick Bosa up to number 1. He's the best defensive player in football right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's either JJ or Nick Bosa.
Fair
I don't
enough.
think Jalen Hurts is number 2 also. Number 4, Micah Parsons. I don't disagree there. 5, Jamar Chase. 6, Justin Herbert. 7, Sauce Gardner. As you can see, young, up-and-coming talent. Now, you already saw where Amon-Ra came in at.
I do.
And I'll just get to the closest lion. So 20 is Garrett Wilson, 21 is Devonta Smith, 22 is Penei Sewell. Now, if you talk about left tackles or right tackles in this case, because Penei plays right, Rashawn Slater is 19. So he's just in front of Penei, and there isn't any tackles higher than those guys besides Tristan Wirfs. And he's 9. So 21 or 22 Penei's at to 9 where Tristan Wirfs is at. And then another offensive lineman, Creed Humphrey, which we would agree is already one of the better centers in the NFL.
Yep.
So that's fine. But when you first see Penei Sewell at 22, behind Devonta Smith, what comes to your mind?
You know, I don't mind it. I'm just glad that Penei Sewell is on the list. Obviously, we think that he is going to be one of the cornerstones and the linchpins of this team going forward, and I already think that Penei Sewell is definitely an up-and-coming tackle in this league, but as of right now, he's still only made 1 Pro Bowl. And when you look at all the other even offensive linemen who are ahead of him, Rashawn Slater, he missed most of last season due to injury, but the year that he played, his rookie season, he was second-team All-Pro, and he was a higher-graded pass blocker in his healthy year than Penei Sewell was in his healthy year, in his last season.
Right.
And then you look at Creed Humphrey. I don't think anybody has a problem with that. He is, in my opinion, going to take the step into being the best center in the NFL, especially when Jason Kelce kind of tapers off, which I think Creed Humphrey makes that jump this year. And then Tristan Wirfs, I think 9 is a little bit high overall as a ranking, but as an offensive lineman under 25, he is a 2-time All-Pro, 2-time Pro Bowler, and graded out extremely high on pass blocking, one of the best pass blockers in all of the NFL. So to me, Penei Sewell, when they make a list like that this next year, I think he's going to be top 15, borderline top 10. But right now, I think Penei Sewell is exactly where he should be, which is on the list, but not too high. What he is going to do is far greater than what he's already done.
Yeah, I think I just think it's ridiculous. Even though I understand the fact that he's 22 and you have all these offensive linemen ranked significantly higher. It's not just the offensive linemen too. Like for example, CeeDee Lamb is number 10. Okay, and CeeDee Lamb's a damn good wide receiver. How in the hell is Amon-Ra St. Brown 24? He's 14 spots behind CeeDee Lamb.
That's
now,
one that's
if you're
low.
going to put Amon-Ra 24, you better have CeeDee Lamb at like 18, 19. Like there shouldn't be a 14-spot difference between CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra St. Brown. If you look at Amon-Ra just in his class alone, he's already at the top of his class in receptions for a 4th-round pick. Through 2 seasons, production-wise, stack him up against a lot of other young, up-and-coming wide receivers. That doesn't make any sense to me. But again, it's not about CeeDee Lamb, because CeeDee Lamb I like a lot.
Yeah.
I think CeeDee Lamb's a great wide receiver. But Sam, if I asked you, to name the top 12 wide receivers, wouldn't that list feature Amon-Ra and CeeDee Lamb?
It would feature Amon-Ra
and they would
CeeDee
be
Lamb.
relatively in the same realm of caliber. Not maybe CeeDee's a couple spots, maybe a spot or 2 higher, but 14 spots for top 25 players under 25. That's ridiculous to me.
Well, and it's not just CeeDee Lamb. There's 8 players ranked above him when it comes to 8 wide receivers ranked above him when it comes to wide receivers under 25. I mean, you got T. Higgins. And obviously, I respect T. Higgins. I love his game. Very few can high point the ball like T. Higgins, like he showed against the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. But I think it's a knock against him that he is not even the best receiver on his own team. It's Jamar Chase far and away. They even put Garrett Wilson over Amon-Ra St. Brown. And for the record, I really like Garrett Wilson. He was the Offensive Rookie of the Year. He was the deserving Offensive Rookie of the Year. But at the same time, he's only had 1 season. And Amon-Ra St. Brown has proved it over 2, most certainly over 1.5, because when Ben Johnson took over, it was pretty much a wrap for Amon-Ra St. Brown. You even look at DK Metcalf, Devontae Smith is another one. He had a great year, 1,200 yards last year, but he's not even the best receiver on his own team. It's A.J. Brown far and away.
That's the thing. And Braylon Edwards always says this, and again, for Braylon to speak on this, it's better than anybody. Being the number 2 wide receiver on a team has significant benefits because, again, Amon-Ra walks in every single week and defenses game plan for Amon-Ra St. Brown. For Devonta Smith, they're game planning for A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, but he gets the benefit. You can't double cover Devonta Smith. You will never do it because you got A.J. Brown over on the other side. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he gets all the – defense is strictly Khalif Raymond, Josh Reynolds, nice. They're nice players, but come on, dude. Come on. The drop-off from with no Jameson, especially this season for the first 6 games. Amon-Ra and what he has to battle every week and what he has to overcome is much more significant than Devonta Smith.
100%. And there's another example that I didn't even get to. How about Jalen Waddle being ranked above Amon-Ra St. Brown? I love Jalen Waddle's skill set. I think he led the NFL in yards per catch last season. He is absolutely lethal. But do you think it helped him out maybe a tad that on the other side there's, I don't know, Tyreek freaking Hill, only the fastest man I've ever seen on a football field, had over 1,700 yards receiving. How big of a jump did Jalen Waddle's numbers take from last year without Tyreek Hill to this year with Tyreek Hill? I'll give you a hint. It is astronomical. And that's nothing against Jalen Waddle, but nobody is game planning for Jalen Waddle over Tyreek Hill. You're definitely game planning for both, but Tyreek Hill is El Capitano of wide receiver speed, probably in the history of the NFL. I've never seen anyone like him.
It's a very simple question. Who gets doubled? It's not Jalen Waddle. It's
not
going to be
Jalen
Tyreek
Waddle.
Hill.
Yes.
Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be doubled. It is what it is. Eric Allen says, WoodwardSports.com, which get involved, by the way, if you're watching, WoodwardSports.com in the chat thread. Eric says, Amon-Ra has the same amount of catches with Jefferson and Chase and played in less games than those two. That's a mic drop, Sam.
that absolutely
Production,
is.
it is what it is. But again, if anything, this kind of speaks to Detroit as a whole because, and this has been a constant theme here, because in the offseason, there's nothing going on sports-wise, live action-wise, besides the Tigers, who actually won yesterday.
Hey.
Side note. Still don't think they're winning the division, but anyway, we'll move on from that.
Out.
3 games out. That is true. 4 games out.
4 games out.
But Detroit players consistently get overlooked. This isn't a shock. I mean, we go through lists all the time, and you see it either the Lions as a whole, which we'll get to soon in the show, and I want your guys' reaction if they're being overlooked as a roster. But individually, Jared Goff, I mean, you see those stupid lists, man, with Geno Smith ranked over Goff. In what world? I've seen a list where Daniel Jones is ranked over Goff.
Jesus Christ.
In what world?
You mean 15 touchdown pass Daniel Jones?
Well, Vanilla Vic, Daniel Jones.
He did have a good year running the football, but when your breakout season, you have 15 touchdown passes, I just don't respect it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
No, it's ridiculous. Daniel Jones in no world is better than Jared Goff. It doesn't work like that. But here to the comments, let's see, because people are chiming in here. Lucian says Tyreek needs to be out a year since gambling. Players are getting suspended, and Tyreek is assaulting people. Yeah, well, this is the NFL. Fortunately, you can punch somebody in the face, and you'll probably play that season. That's just is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see the gambling suspensions, by the way.
I did.
And they're not done. People, you see who the players that are getting suspended. The NFL is just getting started. Like that article that came out about the Lions being investigated for another player. They haven't named that player yet. So I'm telling you,
I feel like that's died down though.
They never announced who it was.
No.
Maybe they didn't find anything though.
But maybe they didn't find anything, and then they started digging more, and now they're finding all these other players.
And I found out the guy, what was his name? Isaiah Rodgers?
Yes.
I think it was. Yeah, he placed a bet on his team on the over rushing total, and he placed in $1,000 bet, but every other bet he made or placed was only $50. So Sam, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're placing $50 bets and then one bet you drop $1,000, something tells me you know something other people don't.
You got a little insider information, maybe?
And he placed it on the rushing yards total. Probably knew they were going to run the ball that game.
Probably.
Like that's the problem here. It's not about betting on your team. It's about knowing the game plan and betting on your team. That's cheating.
Oh, that is absolutely cheating.
You can't do that.
And if you do that, especially if you're betting against your own team, which I'm not saying that's what Isaiah Rodgers is doing, that is the ultimate sin when it comes to betting in the NFL. You obviously can't do that.
No, and again, for that stuff, it's like I understand if you think, well, if a player bets on his team to win, it shouldn't be that big a deal.
Sure.
No. They have information that the public does not know, like injuries, the game plan, like things that you just don't read on social media. Like Isaiah Rodgers knew they were going to run the ball that game.
Absolutely.
He knew they were going to commit to the run that game. Of course he could place $1,000 on the rushing totals. You think I can do that? No, I have to Google best prop bets and take a swing. Like Isaiah Rodgers has the inside information. So even though I understand betting for your team to win, it doesn't sound as bad. Just don't do it. Just don't bet. You're making millions and millions of dollars. Just stay off of FanDuel. Unless you're betting on college football or the college basketball, but stay out of the facility. It's very simple. It's very simple.
I really want to know the thought process behind it because, like, the risk versus reward just does not make any logical sense.
No, it doesn't.
I would agree with that.
I mean, placing $1,000 on a rushing total, how much? What were the odds on that? I mean, how much did you think he actually made? He probably made a couple grand, probably $2,000, $1,000. He made $1,000.
Was it worth it? Was it worth it?
No. You made $1,000.
You know, Jeff, not to pivot from the gambling talk, but I have a question for you because we never really got to it in the beginning. We talked about CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think when it comes to wide receivers under 25, if you want to rank CeeDee Lamb over Amon-Ra St. Brown, I don't necessarily have a problem with that. Do you have a problem with that? Do you think that Amon-Ra St. Brown is clearly ahead of CeeDee Lamb right now?
I wouldn't say clearly. Now, personally speaking, and I'm going to try and, not make this sound like homerism, I would take Amon-Ra St. Brown just because I know what I'm getting. And like CeeDee Lamb for me, he makes all these spectacular catches. He's flashy. He's your typical X wide receiver. When you think of an X, it's
Sure.
CeeDee Lamb. But for me, I'd rather have the guy that I can always count on in all areas of the game, in run blocking, receptions. He's going to catch everything that's thrown at him. And he's a cerebral football player, super intelligent, and also he just loves the game. His work ethic, like catching 200 balls after practice, that's the dude I want on my squad. But I understand CeeDee Lamb, they're close, and people would say CeeDee's better. That's fine. CeeDee in college was an animal.
Oh, yeah.
But at this moment, right now, knowing what I know, I'll take Amon-Ra St. Brown.
God, that is a tough one because Amon-Ra St. Brown, when you look at his production, you have to look at this past season where he had over 1,100 yards, 106 receptions, only 6 touchdowns, which isn't really a knock on him. That's kind of more random, I think.
Yeah.
Or luck when it comes to touchdowns and not getting targeted in the red zone. But at the same time, it's not just this past year. It's those last however many games under Ben Johnson, I think it was 6, in which Amon-Ra St. Brown clearly broke out, had over 550 receiving yards in 6 games and over 50 catches. But at the same time, when it comes to last season, CeeDee Lamb, in my opinion, did have a better year. He had more catches, more yards, higher yards per catch, and more touchdowns. But one of the things that Amon-Ra St. Brown has excelled at, I'm actually looking at this chart that our main man Alex Z made for us when it ranked a lot of the production of these under 25 receivers in their past 2 seasons. Amon-Ra St. Brown excels over all of them when it comes to lack of drops and lack of drop percentage. Also, where he really excels, and this is where a guy like Neil Rule, and we should all be very happy about that, when it comes to his cap hit versus the rest of them, it's nothing. It's minuscule. And also, he racks up the receptions and the receptions per game. So all of that in concert makes Amon-Ra St. Brown arguably maybe the most valuable receiver under 25 given his contract. I don't know about above Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, but certainly when it comes to value, those are the only 2 that you'd even consider above him when it comes to under 25. Amon-Ra St. Brown has outperformed his contract in a way that I don't remember a Lion doing in recent memory. It is unbelievable. 4th-round pick superstar.
Well, it's ridiculous, too, because you go through the stats, and let's say you didn't name the names of the players. You didn't say CeeDee, you didn't say Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I told you I have 2 players. One has more receptions, clearly doesn't drop the ball. He only has 5 drops compared to CeeDee's at least 14 from this recorded data. So drops the ball less, more dependable. And again, you go down first downs about the same. Yards after catch or yards per reception. Obviously, it's a little different. Amon-Ra has a different role, but regardless, if you go through it, the yards are similar. Yards per reception, relatively similar. CeeDee would have him by a couple yards, but regardless, very similar. And then to your point, Sam, then you get to where they were taken. Very similar production. One has less drops, more dependable, probably a better run blocker. One's a 4th-round pick, one's a 1st-round pick.
I mean,
there you go.
That's the crux of it all if you're looking at it
Very
from value.
simple. Now, if we're going off, physical tools, you'd want to lean CeeDee if you want a bigger wide receiver. That's fine, but I'm taking Amon-Ra St. Brown every single day and twice on Sundays.
Would you agree, though, that when it comes to the top 10 to 12 of wide receivers, I would probably even say top 10, that they're both at the lower end of the top 10, maybe 10 to 12?
I think St. Brown is a top 10 wide receiver. I've been trying to be consistent with that because people say, well, he's really good, but let's wait and see. Nah, dude, I've seen enough. He's a top 10 wide receiver. You go through the list. It's not as easy as you think. You go through 10 wide receivers. By the time you get to 8, 9, you can make an argument for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like, that's where you get to the Terry McLaurins, the CeeDee Lambs. I think he's in that group of wide receivers. So I would say he's top 10, but others can believe whatever they want to believe. I mean, if you're at Dispo, you might say CeeDee Lamb if you're smoking. But regardless, I think Amon-Ra is a top 10 wide receiver.
You know what? I'll tell you what. Coming into next year's list, if they make another list like that, Amon-Ra St. Brown will certainly be in the top 10, no doubt about it, when it comes to wide receivers. I think he has a huge season, maybe has 115 catches for 1,300 yards, and I personally think he enters the double digits of receiving touchdowns. And at that point, you're basically calling him a approximation of prime Cooper Kupp. He hasn't gotten there yet, but I think he can get there.
You know what's funny about Amon-Ra? He's dependable. You know what? Dependable like Swiss insurance.
Oh, like Swiss insurance. And it's arguable who is more dependable. I think they're both the same, but Swiss insurance is definitely the Amon-Ra St. Brown of insurance. And now that summer is here, it is important to make sure you are properly covered. Whether it's a grad party or just a group of people over to enjoy the lake or pool, your liability exposure increases significantly in summertime. Let the Swiss Insurance Group review your coverage and make sure you are protected from an unexpected loss. Check us out at SwissINS.com or call Mark today at 248-800-4177. That is 248-800-4177, Swiss Insurance.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. It's the Morning Woodward Show here on Woodward Sports Network. It's Jeff Iafrate, Sam Flannel, Gabby D. Phillips, all with you guys. And again, appreciate you for tuning in. You could have been anywhere else this morning. You chose to be with the Morning Woodward Show, so we love you for that. Don't forget, if you're watching on our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, like the video, and if you can't watch it live, it's all good. You can go back, re-listen at any podcast app you have, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music. If you're on the website, go check out the latest news, articles, updates, show clips, and merchandise. Because, again, the merch keeps dropping, and it keeps getting better and better. During the break, Sam Flannel had something to get off his chest, and we kind of talked about it a little bit. But this ranking, you saw where Trevon Diggs was ranked, which for people who don't have context of this list, Trevon Diggs is 13. He's ahead of Waddle. He's ahead of Jonathan Taylor. Obviously ahead of Penei Sewell and Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's ahead of DK Metcalf. And you have a problem with that.
So when it comes to Penei Sewell and Amon-Ra St. Brown's ranking on this list, they should at the absolute least be one spot farther up than they already are, because what in the name of hell is Trevon Diggs doing on this list, especially at number 13? Because Trevon Diggs, I get it, he makes a lot of interceptions. He's a playmaking type of corner, but he also takes a lot of risks. And I prefer my cornerbacks to actually lock down half of the field. In 2021, Trevon Diggs' all-pro season, which was one of the most fraudulent things I've ever seen in my life. Yes, I believe he led the NFL in interceptions, but he also yielded, when targeted, over 1,000 receiving yards. Ooh. 1,000 receiving yards. That is so bad and so insane that not only should Trevon Diggs not be on this list, on the best list, he should be on the worst under 25. And you might think it got better last season. He didn't allow as many yards, but do you know what Trevon Diggs' passer rating allowed when targeted was in 2022?
What was it, Sam?
99.4. This isn't QBR, so it's not as bad as it sounds, but 99.4 is approaching a 100 passer rating. And if you're a quarterback and you put up a 100 passer rating game, you had a great game. So let me just say this. A wide receiver basically had the equivalent of an 1,000-yard season against Trevon Diggs last season in 2021, and a quarterback essentially had a passer rating of over 100 when targeting Trayvon Diggs. I can't stand that he's on this list, especially at 13. Especially the fact that Sauce Gardner, I believe, is 7 and Patrick Surtain is 8.
Yeah.
Those are actual great corners. Those are actual corners that will lock you down. Those are actual corners that don't give up 1,000 yards and 99 passer ratings when targeted.
Well, you better be careful, Sam. He plays for America's team, so show them
Jesus
respect.
Christ.
It's America's team. It's the Cowboys. No, I'm just kidding. I agree with you.
Thank you.
And it's funny because Trevon Diggs has a little bit of that the Bogdanovich treatment where Bogey gives up as many points as he scores. That's kind of like Trevon Diggs. Big risk taker, but gives up a lot of yards. If Amon-Ra St. Brown played against Trevon Diggs every single week during an NFL season, he'd break Calvin's record. So, like, this is a real thing with Trevon Diggs. Big-time playmaker, but, again, he gives up a ton of yards. So the fact that he's 13 on this list, I got one word for you. Cowboys.
Oh, 100%.
That's the reason.
And you know what? If he went up against Amon-Ra St. Brown during a game, he might get one pick. Hell, he might even take it to the house. But he's given up 150 yards and 2 touchdowns because that is what Trayvon Diggs does. His whole legend is made off of interceptions, counting stats, and the fact that he plays on the Dallas Cowboys. I get it. His playmaking ability is elite. Nobody can you count on more for interceptions than Trayvon Diggs probably in the NFL. But his nickname might as well be Toast because he's burnt toast every game.
Not the toast line. You did not hit him with the toast line.
Yes, I know it's cliche, but it's apropos.
Well, let me do a transition here because we'll go from Trevon Diggs as a player rankings to team rankings. Dallas Cowboys, which is perfectly fitting. You're talking about Trevon Diggs. ESPN came out with a list, the top rosters in the NFL, very point-blank period. They talk about the strongest unit of each team and the weakest unit and an X factor for 2023. Those are the 3 things they talk about. And I'm going to tell you where the Lions are ranked, but we'll start with the top rosters they have ranked here, and you tell me if you have a problem with any of them. Number 1, Kansas City Chiefs.
Absolutely not.
Okay, number 2.
Yes, good. No problem.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no
Philadelphia
problem.
Eagles, number 2.
That's perfect.
Yeah, this is rosters. Buffalo Bills, number 3. Miami, number 4. See, you see a theme here. Cincinnati Bengals, number 5.
I don't know about Miami over Cincinnati.
Really?
I would put.
Are you kidding?
What are you
Let's
basing
just start
that
with
on?
their defense. You got Jalen Ramsey, Bradley Chubb. We'll talk about that defensive line, the secondary, Javon Holland. They got dudes.
I know Christian Wilkins
Name
and all
me
that.
Cincinnati. Who are you bringing to the table?
I mean, Trey Hendrickson. And also,
wow.
Wait a minute. Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa. I think there's a little bit of a drop
But
off.
it's roster.
I understand
It's
that.
not quarterback. I agree with you 100%. But as a roster, Miami has a better roster than Cincinnati.
I don't know about that, but Joe Burrow, I think he makes up for a lot of that. Cincinnati, have you seen their wide receiver core? Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase.
We're talking offense and defense combined.
No, I understand that.
Are you telling me the Bengals defense is better than the Miami Dolphins
No,
defense?
I'm not saying that. And
Okay.
the Miami Dolphins, they probably have the best wide receiver duo and the best cornerback duo, but they also have freaking Tua Tagovailoa. Is even going to play 10 games.
They got Armstead at left tackle. Like, they're not
Good
a bad
player.
roster.
No, they're not. They're
a great roster. But anyway, we're arguing semantics here. It's one spot. But regardless, the Cowboys come in at 6. So to your point, they're a top 6 roster in the NFL, which I don't think they're far off. I would say Dallas as a roster, it's a pretty damn good roster. I can't deny it. Whether you like Dak or not, trust me, I understand. I don't like Dak Prescott either, but as a roster, they're definitely top 10. Do you have a problem with that?
No, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. And then the Lions. Let's see where the Lions are ranked here, okay? 17.
Ooh.
And I'll tell you who's in front of them, and you give me your thoughts on it. Because this is what pissed me off. And I'll tell you what, we talk about the NFC North so much, it feels like we know them like the back of our hands. The Minnesota Vikings come in at 16. Oh my God. They're one spot higher than the Lions. I need to see who wrote this so we can rightfully call out the person, because this was written by Mike Clay. Mike Clay. Damn it. And Seth Walder. I had more faith in you, Mike Clay. But Minnesota Vikings one spot over the Lions. In what world how do you lose 7 starters and you're better still than the Lions, who significantly upgraded this offseason?
God, all I have to say to that, the Minnesota Vikings being over the Detroit Lions when it comes to roster, they're just going to get these 2 fingers. That's all it's going to get, because I have made my feelings about the Minnesota Vikings well known. They lost Patrick Peterson. They lost Dalvin Cook. They lost Alvin Tomlinson. They lost Eric Kendricks. They lost Zadarius Smith, and they basically essentially replaced them with Marcus Davenport, who had a half a sack last year. Zadarius Smith had more than 10. They replaced him with Brian Asamoah. They replaced them all with Byron Murphy, who has had 5 interceptions in his whole career. Patrick Peterson had 5 last year. People say Patrick Peterson was washed. You know what? That was his second highest interception total he's had in a season since his second year. So the Minnesota Vikings took a bad defense and made them essentially worse, taking away some of their best players. I think the Minnesota Vikings might have the worst defense in the NFL next year.
I think Mike Clay went to Dispo and picked out some top shelf cannabis, because you're fried if you think the Minnesota Vikings are better than the Detroit Lions as a roster. You're simply fried, and I'll tell you why. You talk about their offensive line. Minnesota's a decent offensive line.
Christian Darrishaw's a stud.
Yeah, absolutely. Love their wide receiver core. Kirk Cousins is mid. We accept that. But defensively, tell me where the talent is. Tell me. They have decent players, but you lost some of your more productive players last offseason. The Lions added more players. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And again, when we look at these rankings, none of it really matters. But the reason why I talk about it is because I want this information to get out there, and for whoever sees it, whether you're in Michigan or nationally, you understand the truth. The Lions roster, and I'm not saying they're, because you look at the NFC alone, and this list is AFC and NFC, so it makes sense. I think the Lions are a top 5 roster, top 4 roster in the NFC. I do.
Oh, NFC, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Not in the NFL,
okay.
period. But because the AFC, different teams, like Miami's out there, by the way, and some other great teams. So I'm not going to go that far. But NFC, Sam, you got San Francisco, you got Philly, you got Dallas, and then now we're talking it's a toss-up Seattle and the Lions. And you want to know where Seattle's ranked on this list, by the way, and I think Seattle has a decent roster, but you want to see where they're ranked. The Seattle Seahawks are listed on this list here at number 12.
Okay.
So number 12, and again, I'm going to read some of these explanations for each of these rosters. For Seattle, they bring up DK, they bring up Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith, and the Jigba, of course. And then they talk about their weakest units, the edge rusher position, which we understand that. Then you go to the Lions and what they talk about as their strengths. Their strength, obviously, doesn't really need to be said at all. Their offensive line, we understand it's elite. Weakest unit, defensive tackle. I don't disagree there.
Yeah.
Defensive tackle, they didn't really significantly upgrade, so I get that as a concern. And then the X factor for the Lions, they write, is Cam Sutton, which I think is fair. He's going to be the number 1 corner. But as you can see, the guys that are the teams that are ranked in front of the Lions, I don't have a problem with it, Sam.
It's tough because I
really don't. Maybe if you want to talk like, okay, should they be closer to Seattle, or maybe Seattle should be farther back would be my argument, and Minnesota should be farther back. But the Lions being at like 13 to 15 in the NFL in total as a roster, I mean, a lot of guys are going to depend on this, Sam, or haven't even played yet. Jameer Gibbs and Sam Laporta, how do I make it a judgment off of it?
A lot of them haven't played, and a lot of them haven't played for the Lions. And that's the thing, because as good as the Lions actually finished out this season, and as good as their season was overall, especially relative to 2021, in which they tripled their win total, I could be mistaken, but I don't believe the Lions had a single All-Pro last year. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to the Lions and their high expectations, and this isn't hating on the Lions at all. I expect them to win the division. I expect them to win a playoff game. I think a lot of that, too, is tied into the fact that they play in the NFC, and they play in a weak division in the NFC North.
That's true.
If they were in the AFC and had to go up against teams like the Chiefs and the Bills and the Bengals.
Imagine if they were in the AFC East.
Well, that's the problem. You might look at them as the 3rd or 4th best team. And that's not a shot against the Lions. I'm just saying that they have a really good situation to come into next year. And I'll tell you what, when it comes to the Detroit Lions, I could be mistaken. Jeff, I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. The Detroit Lions have probably as many B to B plus players, a couple A minuses, I'd say, in Penn and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Aiden Hutchinson.
Right.
They've got so many really good, solid players. Even Cam Sutton, Emmanuel Mosley. They don't have a lot of weaknesses, but they don't have that high-end superstar yet. That is going to change going into next year, though. Absolutely.
No, I think you're spot on. I wouldn't say the Lions have any superstar. I think the closest players are Panay and Amon-Ra to being superstars, but nobody that has had that type of impact yet. I think it's close.
Oh, yeah.
I think Aiden can do that. I think Amon-Ra can do that. Panay's already trending upwards. I mean, Neil calls him a Hall of Famer, which I 100% agree with. He will be if he keeps up this level of play for a 10, 15-year career. But you're spot on. Right now, the Lions don't have those guys. Even Seattle, as a defense, they've added pieces. They got talent. They got Tariq Woolen, obviously one of the greatest steals of all time in the draft. But you talk about their offense, DK. Tyler Lockett, guys that are proven. I get it. Geno Smith, you know how I feel about Geno. Don't agree with that one. But I can understand they have more proven talent. I'm telling you, though, in about a year or two, more and more Lions players are going to start showing up.
100%.
It is only a matter of time. And now you have C.J. Gardner-Johnson signed in free agency, who I think is the closest thing to a superstar as well. So they added talent in free agency. Maybe they're higher on this list, but they're in the low teens at the very most, if we're talking the entire NFL. Well, it's just the reality.
Yeah, and going into next year, imagine if some of the rookies that Brad Holmes drafted in this past draft, like Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, Sam Laporta, have similar impacts to rookies of previous drafts, like the Aidens, the James Houstons, the Penei Sewells. You're definitely going to be looking at this as, especially if the Lions win the division this next year and live up to expectations, they're going to be way higher on this list. I think coming into next year, they're going to be universally looked at as a top 10 roster. No doubt about it.
I want to get to some of these comments before we go to break. Detroit Arrow says, how can Hutch not be a star on the rise? He's going to be a premier edge rusher in the league. At least we're not saying that. We think he is on the rise, but he's not a superstar yet. I think that's fair. You're damn right he's on the rise. No one's arguing that. But we're talking about to be recognized nationally as that dude. He's not that dude yet, but I do think, and you would agree, Sam,
100%.
He will be.
100%.
There is no doubt about that. Lucian says, Lucian, you got to tell me if I'm pronouncing your name right. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but he says, we have a superstar in our quarterback, Goff, MVP loading. We're going to really have to address those closer to the season. We're going to have to talk more and more about Jared Goff being in the MVP conversation and whether we think he will or not. I'm going to go out on a limb here, Sam, and just say he won't. But who knows? I don't think he will come out week one, and I don't think the offense is going to be tailored to that type of play style. I don't think it's going to be tailored to a play style where Goff airs it out, throws for 5,000, 40 touchdowns. I don't think that's the way the Lions want to play football.
No, and for the record, if Jared Goff doesn't play at MVP level, but he just does something similar to what he did last year, that is okay. If he does play at MVP level, though, I mean, look out. This is definitely a team that could win maybe even 12 or 13 games. But that is if.
And for the record, I am also here at Dispo. I'm not at the desk with them, just back here. See you all in the chat, and we'll get into it later. Just have to let the guys rant for a little bit.
Yeah, Gabby's just letting us get our frustrations out right now.
Things don't go well when I try and mute anyone.
And no, Lucas still wakes up at night from that. He can't sleep sometimes. He's triggered. He's scarred.
Yeah, but we're used to looking at you.
Yeah,
it's weird. Yeah,
it's so weird.
It's good. It's very unconventional. But you know what? We're gonna go to break. When we get back, I do want to get into some just the Pistons free agency cover for a little bit. We're doing one segment on it just because it is today at 6 p.m. It's super, super important. But Sam, speaking of being out, I got to get in shape, man. Where can I go?
Well, if you want to get in as good a shape as I am, which clearly you're not quite there yet, I'm just kidding, man. You go to Planet Fitness, of course. Honestly, if you want to get in shape like my man Griffin over there, like get those guns, you go to Planet Fitness, of course, and also Planet Fitness, if you are a teenager, if you want to start that process young, you can work out for free all summer long, all the way until August 31st. You can register now at the club and get access immediately and go, and you have about 2 months of it, so you should not let that opportunity go to waste. It is a wonderful thing that they are doing. And for the rest of us, we can all get memberships starting at only $10 a month, or you can upgrade to the Black Card and get it for $24.99 per month to get even more of the amenities that they offer, some of the best amenities of any gym you are ever going to find. Join today in club or online, or visit planetfitness.com. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness
is essential.
Get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here at woodwardsports.com, but more really here at Dispo and Romeo. Thanks to the fantastic people here. They will take care of you. They take care of us. I mean, they brought out donuts for us, water, coffee. I mean, we're really getting the royal treatment here this morning. It's like how Jeff gets treated every single day.
I knew it was coming.
But if you're watching the show on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you're listening via podcast, download this episode and leave a 5-star review. And follow us on all social media at Woodward Sports.
And you know what's funny about that, too, and I'll just come out clean with it. Booner was nice enough, my guy Booner, which, again, if you got to go check out Booner, dude. The guy's a stud.
100%.
He brought me a coffee from Tim Hortons and some muffins. He brought coffees for everybody.
Coffee's a stretch.
We'll call it a coffee. All right.
I agree with Gabby, for the
Technically,
record.
it is a coffee. It may be a mocha ice cap, but regardless, it's coffee, technically. And during break, we don't have anywhere to put it, so Booner gives it to me during break, and I drink. It's very Hollywood, and I know what people are going to say, Jeff, that's Hollywood. Guys, I know how it looks, but I promise you, it's not that deep, all right? I promise you, Sam, you know me.
No,
I'm not too much of a diva.
No, you're not a diva at all, but at the same time, I mean, you're drinking ice mocha, frappes, or whatever. When you're old like me, when you're in your 30s like me, you drink it black, straight black.
Yeah.
Because what you're having is a milkshake, not a coffee. That is worse for you than cake and ice cream, man. But you know what?
Dude.
I mean, look at him. He's a specimen. He's fine. You're fine.
Well,
you got the metabolism.
you know what the problem
You'll be
is?
fine.
You know what my problem is with coffee? And it's not, I'm not a big fan of hot coffee. I mean, my family's Italian, so coffee's big time.
Yeah.
Everyone's drinking coffee. I prefer energy drinks.
Italian?
I
Okay.
do.
I had no clue.
But with you wouldn't know I'm Italian by what I'm drinking. You'd think I'm the
Or by
whitest
your arm.
the whitest white girl ever. What'd you say?
Or by your arm.
Yeah, look at the arm. I mean, it speaks for itself. No explanation needed. Don't worry about it, Lucas. It says you suck. That's what it says. Shane D says, drink what you want, Jeff. See, thank you, Shane D. Chuck says, Jeff, big timing again. What else do we expect? Okay, guys, you know what? Jack says, Jeff, your homework is to watch The Hangover this weekend. Yeah, I've never seen that movie, so we don't need to address that. All right, you make fun of me all you want. Make fun of me all you want. All right, I'm doing it this weekend, and I'll come back on Monday and report it. Let's see. Jack says, Jeff is a white girl. Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair. We're going to get to the Pistons free agency because it starts today at 6 p.m., and they're going to get busy. They got money to spend. They accepted some team options. Alec Burks is going to be back. Eugene's going to be back, who was the 10-day guy from last year who, again, plays his ass off. He earned a roster spot. He'll be here. And they got roughly a little under $30 million to spend in free agency, and you're seeing the reports already with players that are mocked or at least rumored to be to the Detroit Pistons. And two of those guys that we haven't talked at length about, Max Strus now has entered the conversation, which I want to discuss him. Grant Williams, another guy that keeps kind of making, he keeps popping up in Pistons Twitter. And along with Cam Johnson, the obvious one, who the big fish, I guess you could say, of this free agency class. But we'll start with Max Strus, Sam. Is that somebody you think fits? It's the right fit and the right price. What are your thoughts on it?
No, I don't want Max Strus anywhere near the Detroit Pistons. And
What?
I get it. I have a little bit of a personal vendetta against Max Strus, I'll be honest, because actually my guy Booner is here right now, so I gotta, I wouldn't say call him out a little bit, but during this playoff run, I know he got into the whole Jimmy Butler thing, and I thought after round one that was a little bit overblown because in round one, obviously Jimmy Butler was phenomenal, but for the rest of the playoffs, he was actually fairly closer to regular season Jimmy Butler, but less efficient, and he did not have a very good NBA Finals. But I knew the narrative that was happening all throughout those series wins over New York and Boston. You'd hear people say like, Jimmy Butler is carrying undrafted bums like Max Strus, when in reality, it was Duncan Robinson and Gabe Vincent and Caleb Martin, who were actually all shooting 40% from three. And Caleb Martin had a case to win Eastern Conference Finals.
He really did.
MVP. I don't think he should have, but at the same time, he had a case. But all that being said, this whole idea that Max Strus is this dead-eye shooter, I mean, he was better in 2021-22, but last season he was a 35% three-point shooter. And contrary to popular belief, in the playoffs, he upped that percentage up to 32.5% from three. I say that obviously very sarcastically, because he was not a good shooter. He did not have a good playoffs. He was actually worse in the playoffs than he was in the regular season. And with Max Strus, I don't really see him as a wing. I mean, to me, he's a shooting guard. He's certainly not the defender that some of the other free agent targets are in this class, like someone we might mention later, Grant Williams, for example. But Max Strus, and you know what else is kind of damning about Max Strus? Despite being in the playoffs the last couple of years with the Miami Heat, obviously going on a couple of good runs, his career playoff shooting splits 39, 33, and 77. That doesn't sound like a dead-eye shooter to me. Keep Max Strus far away from Detroit. Put a force field around Detroit. And Max Strus just bang into it and bounce back off. Get out.
Yeah, and that's I guess it really is, what is Max Strus commanding? You assume it's going to be in the low teens, at least 11, 12, whatever it is, million per year. And to pay a guy that type of money, I wouldn't. He's not going to start, obviously. If he comes to the Pistons, he's going to be a guy who comes off the bench. And I think in Miami it was different because you're playing with less talent and you're in a much bigger role, which I don't think it's Max Strus' natural role. He's not a starting two guard.
No.
He just isn't. He was on a finals team, but like you said, didn't play well in that scenario. Because even a season ago, before this past season, he shot 41% from three on 6.5 attempts.
That's very good. I'll give him
very
that.
good.
I mean,
But to your point, he's a traffic cone on defense. Can't stop anybody, and he's very streaky. He's very streaky. He'll have nights where he'll hit 6 threes, and he'll have nights where he's 0 for 5. And you saw that a lot in the playoffs. I wouldn't mind it. But again, this isn't the free agency. This isn't the period to spend on players that are going to make minimal impacts compared to others. It isn't about Max Strus. This is about Cam Johnson. You got to go out and get the best available. Jeremy Grant, potentially, whoever it is. Those are the players I'm targeting. Max Strus, I mean, solid, but I'm not spending $12 to $15 million on Max Strus. I'm just not. I'm okay.
12 to $15 million on Max Strus. I might stop watching the Pistons, which would make me then worse at this job. Obviously, nothing could make me stop watching the Pistons, but that would be disheartening to say the least, especially if they have an opportunity to go after Cam Johnson, even overpaying for him, even giving him $30 million a year for a wing who can defend, averaging 16 points a game on 40% from the three. I would do that a million times out of a million. I would pay him $35 million a year over Max Strus at 12 to 15, 100%, because at least Cam Johnson, with him on this roster, I think that they can contend for a play-in next year.
Yeah, I agree with that. MM says, if we miss on Cam, I would love a trade with the Hawks for Hunter. We would pay him $10 million less than Cam, and the numbers are so similar. I agree with him.
He's not quite the three-point shooter that Cam Johnson is,
but price comparison,
I don't hate
right.
it.
He's going to cost roughly about $10 million, around that number, less than Cam. And as a defender, DeAndre's a good defender.
Sure.
Won a national championship at Virginia, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
I believe he went to Virginia. Regardless, I don't mind DeAndre Hunter, but I think Cam Johnson is, if you look at least the stats, he's a better three-point shooter. He's hit at a higher clip. But to MM's point, you're paying for that.
Yeah.
You're paying $10 million more for that. Whatever way they go, I would not mind a DeAndre Hunter trade.
No,
That
that is one that I would be okay with, given that there are no other options. It's not my first choice, but he wouldn't command as much money. And then if you get a DeAndre Hunter, maybe then you could go into free agency and get a lesser-known name that would also help your team. There's some out there, some under-the-radar guys.
Yeah, and the problem is, too, for Cam, you don't have to give anything up to get him. Assuming it's not a sign-and trade, which I don't think it will be. DeAndre Hunter, you're going to have to give up something to get him. Did you see Herb Jones enter unrestricted free agency as well? Pelicans are working out a deal with him, but that's another player. And by the way, I have my beef with Herb Jones, and nobody knows this, but I have my beef with Herb Jones because when Cade was the rookie of the year, as he should have been, you know who was ahead of him in some of those rankings?
None other than Herb Jones.
Herb frickin' Jones, dude. And again, no shot at Herb Jones. I mean, it doesn't take – if you have eyeballs, you can see that Cade's better. But it's kind of ironic now that he's unrestricted free agent, assuming that the Pelicans, they don't immediately get a deal done. A team with cap space could swoop on into Herb Jones and say, hey, Herb, how you doing? How How does 12 to 15 million sound to you? Like, you could swoop in and try and, pull Herb away. Again, as a three-point shooter, he's shot around 34%, but I think he's only 2 years in the NBA, and he's a great defender. I think that's a perfect wing, especially if you strike out on Cam and Jeremy Grant. I think Herb Jones is a great option. But most likely, Sam, you expect him to get a deal done with the Pelicans.
Yeah, it's funny how it works out because when you mentioned Herb Jones, that I agree with you. It was absolutely ridiculous that he got any votes over Rookie of the Year over Cade Cunningham. I mean, he was a solid player. He's been a solid player. He's obviously an elite level defender. That's why he was thought of so highly.
Yes.
But at the same time, I mean, as much as we have a vendetta against him, not mine, not quite as strong as yours, he would help this team. Especially on defense. He's pretty locked down, although he needs to improve that three-point shot, no doubt about it.
And I want to get to some of these comments before, because again, we're going to have an interview with the guys from Dispo and talk a little bit about the facility, what's going on today, what it entails. But I want to read some of these. Garrett says, I'll take an elite defender shooting 34% for three over Strus. Garrett, spot
Agreed,
on.
100%.
I'll take
Smart
that.
Man.
Guys, we're going to go to break. When we come back, we're going to have an interview with the guys over at Dispo. I cannot wait. You're going to want to stick around for it. But before we do that, can you tell us about our friends over at Randy Wise?
Yeah, Randy Wise is where you go to get your celebrity-level vehicle. And this weekend, this Sunday, we will be releasing the first episode of the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour featuring the one, the only Jim Harbaugh and myself. I will throw that in there. You'll get to see a little bit of my golf swing too. So check that out at woodwardsports.com. And as always, you can trust Randy Wise.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
Using the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Your childhood may be over, but certainly playtime is not. Outdoor Equipment Company is your source for outdoor power equipment sales, service, and parts, carrying top brands such as Bad Boy, LS Tractor, Stihl, and much more. Servicing the Great Lakes region and locations in Metro Detroit. For more information, visit them at OutdoorEquipCo.com. We're back here on the Morning Woodward Show, and joining us, our good friend from Dispo, Toby, the VP of Marketing here. And number one, thank you guys for having us out. We're so honored to come out here. It's always a great time. And the one question I always want to ask you guys, and I think you'd be the best person to speak on this, is for me, at least when you check out, because there's dispensaries everywhere, but when I come to Dispo, it's a completely different experience. You guys are always customers first. You take care of your people. But what separates this experience at Dispo here in Romeo from other dispensaries?
First of all, thank you guys for coming out here. I really appreciate you guys a lot. And for us, we talk about it all the time. It is about the Dispo difference, right? A lot of dispensaries do a great job, and we like to set the bar high in regards to bud tender knowledge, non-transactional, working hard with our patrons that come in here, giving them the right product. There's a lot of things that go into it, not just on the product side or the bud tenders or the vendors that come in, but everything logistically, right? So when somebody comes in here, they want to feel welcome. They don't want to feel overwhelmed. They want to come in here and just feel like, hey, you know, I had a long day from work, or I got a lot of things going on. I just want to come out and unwind. It's no different when you go to your favorite restaurant, right? And why do you keep on going to that favorite restaurant? It's about the service. That's number one. Number two, it's about, affordability sometimes, right? So we have all of those things that come in play here at all our Dispo shops.
And it's funny, Darren McCarty said it best. It's not always what you say, it's not always what you do, but it's about how you make people feel.
Correct.
And I think Dispo talk about feeling. You walk out of here a completely different person. But Sam, you got a question for Toby?
Absolutely. So one of my favorite NFL players, Travis Kelce, said that 50 to 80% of the NFL is using cannabis. So for somebody like myself who's not super educated on cannabis as a whole, what are some of the benefits?
Well, some of the benefits is just relief of pain, right? We know that cannabis is natural, right?
Sure.
And so anything that you pump into your body that's natural is a little bit better than some of the things that you might see that's over the counter, correct?
Sure.
So a lot of sports athletes have been using CBD for a long time prior to this. And, you know, we have a professional Hall of Fame wrestler by the name of Kevin Nash that approached us, and we approached him to talk about cannabis and the benefits of it. And he was tired of using, the pills, or you see some of these athletes that try to take the edge off by having alcohol, right? So using some of these cannabis products really helps alleviate the pain, and it's a little bit more healthier, especially on our topical side. Like we have Chill Medicated, which is one of our topicals and rubs, and it's just not athletes that are using it. We have arthritis patients. My dad's a butcher, was a butcher for 30 years. His hands are all kind of messed up. So what I say about athletes using it is, athletes are using it. Is it safer? Yeah, it is safer. But you just got to be able to monetary what you guys are putting into your body. Everybody knows. You know your limit when you're drinking alcohol. You know your limit when you're eating food at a dinner party, right?
Right.
It's no different. There's science behind it. The science points that it is a lot more beneficial when you do have cannabis than some of these over-the-counter things that you do purchase at a CVS or a Rite Aid or something like that.
And to kind of speak on the experience again, because we were here last time for 420, and my gosh, if you guys missed it, you got to come back next year. I mean, there's no dispensary that does it like you guys on 420. I know that. And for how much work, I want to ask you, because you'll know this, how much work is involved in actually setting up on days like 420 or today? Because for us, we show up, food trucks are everywhere, you got things for everybody, but I know there's a lot of work that goes into that behind the scenes.
Absolutely. There's a lot of work that goes into this. And then you guys see it from your end too, right? You guys come in here, you guys are getting the tables ready, you guys are at a location, you got the crew setting up the camera. It's no different. Our director of operations, Sean Dabish, who you guys have met a couple of times, he's one of the main guys that kind of help put this together. We have a great marketing team. We have great leadership. So it all starts on looking at the calendar, right? So we look on the calendar, we see the days, we coordinate with local companies that have food trucks. Okay, so now we got the food truck set up. They got to be here at 11 o'clock. We got to make sure that they have power. On top of that, we have vendors that come in from other brands, not just our brands, right? That come in here and set up shop here. So coordinating with their schedule. After that, it's about getting the information out to the patrons, right? What day we're having these events. There's a lot of things that come in through here. Sometimes you have to get permits when we have things out here. So it's not just a plug and play. I look at it as the Wizard of Oz, right? So the old movie of the Wizard of Oz, you got the wizard that's behind the scenes.
Yeah.
On the outside, everything looks great. It's organized chaos on the inside, right? It's organized chaos, but we have a really, really good team, a team that sits down and understands. And what we try to do, too, is really just kind of get consumer feedback on a lot of the stuff. Like what went well. And we'll sit here, Sean, myself, our owner, Brandon, Darren, everybody will come in here. We're always on the floor asking, hey, what do you like? What don't you like? How can we get better? You guys get that feedback when you guys see it throughout your show. When after each show recap, you guys get that feedback. You look at it, and how do we get better? What goes into it? Do we need to take a week off to really retool and get the right parties involved? There's a lot of things that go into it, a lot of moving parts. But I think what happens is you guys know it, I know it. It's all about a team. If you have a good team that supports you, we can go ahead and put some great product out there.
Absolutely. And speaking of product, look at all this wonderful product we have on the desk. What kind of brands do we got here? What kind of brands do you sell throughout?
So these are the brands that I kind of touch on Med Farms on our side. So our brand is Hyman Chill and Cover Cup. And right now what we have here is we have some of our pre-packed flour. This is our flour brand, Hyman, one of the best out here. We'll get those as well. And then you have our pre-rolls. Our pre-rolls are glass tip. They're awesome, ready to go. Smells really good, actually. And so we have those as well. And then what we'll do, we have our gummies. We just started kind of getting into the gummy side of it. These are 200 fast-acting THC gummies. We have All Day, which is our hybrid, I would call it. We have our Sativa, which is our PM, and then we have our our Sativa is our AM, and then our Indica is our PM. I apologize, but we have those. And then when we were just talking about the chill, right? This is the chill topical that we talk about. These helps pain relief, very, very good. 2,000 milligrams with THC and CBD in them. And then some people don't really like to smoke and really want to take the edge off, and that's where we have our chill medicated syrups. So you can go ahead and pour this. I had a lady that came in here, no joke, an older lady, older demographic, and she was buying one of these. And I asked her, I said, ma'am, you're buying? I go, can I ask you, is this for yourself? She goes, I used to smoke heavily, and unfortunately I can't anymore. And I have very high anxiety, and what I like to do is pour that in my tea. And I was like, okay, this is something new, so.
No doubt about it.
Yeah,
And
so these are some of the brands that we
and
do
these,
have.
again, these are probably, 5% of all of your product? There's so much more. That's why you guys got to get down here and check out the catalog these guys have. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's just not our brand. We have great relationship with Stizzy. We have great relationship with MKX. We have great relationship with Goldkind, Sauce, Mitten. There's so many premier brands that we're a part of. These companies that I just mentioned out, there's a plethora of them, but those companies I mentioned out have the same belief, have the same team that we do, that really work hard to really bring awareness into the cannabis space and have everybody enjoy the array of products.
And another thing I noticed too, because I took a tour last time I was here, it was beautiful inside, and you see the vendors or the brands that maybe getting their own store inside of the mall here at Dispo. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So, with our mall, we have some spaces that are leased out and used to some of these main, I would say, other cannabis growers or brands, right? And so what those spaces are going to be is a very, very, very cool experience. So if I'm a MKX guy, right, or I'm a Goldkind guy or Stizzy or Sauce or Mitten, I'm going to go into their space and I'm going to meet their team members, their subject matter experts, and I'm going to learn a little bit about their product. Why does Goldkind set them apart from somebody else, or what do they have to offer, or what does Stizzy have, or MKX or Sauce or Mint, right? I'm gonna go into those stores and kind of learn about their product. In the meantime, I'm going to buy some of their swag. If I'm a user of theirs, I'm going to go in, buy some swag. They have some cool, I would say like a contest that goes on where. So when I learn about that product, now I can go into the Dispo, shop, and then I can go ahead and purchase those stuff. Mac Farms is another really good brand of ours that do such a great job of really bringing awareness to consumers about the product. So it's a really cool experience when you go into those shops to learn about the product and then walk away with that product.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And again, I want to say appreciate you for joining us, Toby. Again, the VP of Marketing here at Dispo. And again, you're not always going to get perfection, but you guys damn chase perfection.
Yeah.
I can tell you that. And they're very all about their customers. So again, check out Dispo. You got how many locations? You got one in Romeo here, the big mall, but you also have one in Hazel Park.
Yeah, we got about 12 total locations of the Dispo shop. More to come here. But, it's like Deion Sanders used to say, if you look good, you play good, you feel good, right? And that's what we try to do here. We're, like you said, we're a sports kind of minded, driven team. Sure. It's all about the team, and can't appreciate you guys enough for coming out, supporting us, working with us, and bringing some of this information to your viewers. It means a lot to us.
Yeah, no problem, man. Appreciate you guys having us. But again, appreciate you, Toby.
Thank you
for
so
all
much.
your guys' help.
Really appreciate
we're going to go to
you.
break here. When we get back, we'll talk more sports. But I got to tell you about our friends over at SMA, because the sports marketing agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. But if you or someone you know is struggling, head to thesportsma.com for more information.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit. But we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
John. Well, welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Again, that was a interview from our good friends at Dispo. Toby, man, he never misses. We had him on last time we were here. And really, JB, is this real? You got me in 4K? Yes, I have an iced coffee next to me. All right, I might be a white girl, but who cares? That's not we're not talking about that right now. We got to get to trivia.
The frappe with whipped cream.
Broder says that.
I have a black coffee next to me.
Yeah, you listen, guys. All right, I can't. You like who you like. I like ice caps, so I drink ice caps. All right, yell at me. I like energy drinks more, but here we go. Booner, thank you again. He brought me the ice cap. So call me a diva white girl. I'll take it.
It's all right.
I'll take it on the chin.
I mean, diva white girl.
Lucas, don't. That sounds weird.
Don't
say that.
we all like what we like. I mean, I like Anthony Davis and Karl Anthony Towns more than most, and you like mocha, ice frappe, whatever it is, more than most dudes. That's. I mean, there's nothing
and this
wrong
is
with
like,
that.
And by the way, it's not like I'm drinking these every single morning. It's the first time I've had it in like a month. So let's not get it twisted.
It's
all right.
because he's been sticking with his hot chocolate with whipped cream?
Well, the hot chocolate whipped cream's even worse. So at least I have some coffee in there. Like Lucian says, LMAO, Jeff is such a diva listening to his Taylor Swift. No, I can assure you I don't listen to Taylor Swift. The trivia we did with Taylor Swift, because we'll be doing trivia in a couple minutes here, I bombed. So there's no way 1 + 1, it doesn't equal 3. So that doesn't add up there. Let's get to trivia. And Gabby, what's the topic for today?
Well, this weekend currently is the Rocket Mortgage Classic going on here in the great state of Michigan. So I wanted to test out Jeff and Flannel's knowledge to see how much they know about this classic Detroit event. So let's get into it here. I didn't even tell them the topic going into this. I wanted them to have no research. I want to see how little or how much, I shouldn't be so negative, how much they know about this topic, all right? Are we ready here?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Ready, Jeff?
All right, question number 1. What year did the Rocket Mortgage Classic start?
Oh, jeez. It's very simple, too. The 4 answers, 2020, 2019, 2018, and 2022. Well, they're all within 4 years apart. So at least the earliest. You got an answer, Sam?
I'll lock in C.
That doesn't sound confident at all.
Well, I'm not confident. I don't know golf.
Okay. Well, I don't either. I'm golfing for the first time this Sunday, so I'm taking a swing. I got my answer.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
C.
Oh, I didn't say my answer. I'll go with B. 2018.
Okay, do we have the system down? You lock in?
Yes.
I say 3, 2, 1.
I'm going with
you get
B.
your answer. It's not like we do this every week.
B and C.
Okay.
I got B. He's got C.
The answer is C.
Of course. Of course.
Okay.
Sam's
Flannel,
brain.
1-0.
This was a guess.
Ready. All right. Question number 2. Who won the Rocket Mortgage Classic last year?
Okay.
I think I locked in.
Who's Gary Potter? Harry Potter? That's fake name, dude.
Harry Potter, Tony Finau, Danny Noonan, or Webb Simpson?
Webb Simpson. That also
Gary
sounds
Potter sounds so fake. Is it? All
Does
right, I got
he
my
sleep
answer.
in a cupboard and go to Hogwarts as well?
All right, I'm going with who I think has the best golfer name. Let's go. I got my answer.
I'm locked
in.
into.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
D.
D as in dog?
I said B.
I just said D.
As in boy.
Flannel.
Dude, Flannel, cut the BS. Cut the BS, dude. You know golf.
Do you watch Flannel?
I don't watch much golf, but you know what? When it comes to trivia time, I'm like LeBron in Game 7. No. These are my stats. These are my notes that I use every single day.
Number B was Tony Finau.
Finau.
I see, and you know him?
I mean, not really, but I've listened around. I mean, I got that LeBron in Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals energy. You know, blocking Andre Iguodala's shot, leading team in all statistical categories for the entire
How do you know
finals.
Tony Finau? Who the hell is that?
He's a very, very, very huge golfer right now.
Well, he must be pretty good. All right, move on. 0 for 2. Let's move on.
Okay. Which big name golfer will not be attending this year?
Locking in.
Oh, it might be Tony Finau.
A. Ricky Fowler. B. Tony Finau. C.
Finau.
Justin Thomas. D. Jordan Spieth.
Okay, I got it.
3, 2, 1.
A.
The answer is D.
Oh,
Jordan
my God,
Spieth.
dude. You know what? The one
I
time.
appreciate the confidence, though. And Flannel has now gotten 1 wrong.
I do know Ricky Fowler. That's fair, but I was wrong there, so it doesn't even matter.
It's a start. I can appreciate the start. All right, next question.
Dang.
What tournament did the Rocket Mortgage Classic replace on the PGA Tour?
I'm gonna lock in.
What? How do you already know?
B. Farmers Insurance Open.
I
didn't remember.
I don't know. I got my answer.
Locking in?
Yep.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
A.
And the answer is A.
Let's go.
3 to 1. 3 to 1.
Hey, LeBron did it.
Hey,
I can do it.
Loans National.
3-1 comeback. Let's go.
All right, next question. Which PGA golfer is a spokesperson for Rocket Mortgage?
Oh, Tony Finau again. I mean, why is this guy in every question?
A. Tony Finau. B. Scotty Scheffler. C. Ricky Fowler. D.
Shooter McGavin.
Shooter McGavin.
Shooter McGavin. That's a real golfer?
I'm not giving you any answers.
Shooter
to any
McGavin?
questions.
He's from a movie, ain't he?
I'm locked in.
Which PGA golfer is a spokesperson for Rocket Mortgage? Dude, these names are... oh, my God. Shooter McGavin. All right, I got it.
Today, Junior.
I got it.
3, 2, 1.
B. Whoa.
I got B. Sam's like, whoa. B. I'm going to go with Scotty Scheffler.
B. And what did you say?
I said B as well.
And though both answers are incorrect, the answer is C. Ricky Fowler.
Oh, okay.
Of course, so Ricky Fowler makes an appearance for an answer. Okay.
Now, please get this one. Which golf course is the tournament held at?
Okay, this one I attended, so I should know
Detroit
this.
Golf Club. B. Country Club of Detroit. C. Devil's Knob. Or D. Arcadia Bluffs.
Okay, Devil's Knob. That sounds like a bar Sam would go to. I'm not going to Devil's Knob, man. All right, we'll you got your answer?
Yeah, I got
lock
it.
it in. All right, I'm ready.
Ready?
Yep.
Devil's
3,
Knob.
2, 1.
A.
Great job, boy.
I could tell Sam wanted to say Devil's Knob so bad. I could see it. Is Devil's Knob a real place? Is that like
No,
a?
Devil's Ridge is a real place.
Who wrote Knob?
Got to throw you guys off a little bit.
It's like Pine Knob
you
and
talked
Devil's
about
Ridge.
It enough, so.
If they were to just like combine with each other.
It sounds like somewhere Lucas would hang out.
Lucas more so than me, hands down.
Yeah,
Okay, next question. Which Michigan college coach won the Celebrity Scramble this year? A. Jim Harbaugh. B. Greg Camp. C. Mike Davis. Or D. Tom Izzo.
Lock in.
All right, I'm biased here. I'm going with the coach that we just interviewed here. So let's go. Let's roll out.
Yeah, D as well.
I got D. Yeah.
D. And you guys are both correct.
We interviewed him, so
Yeah,
like, if
I'm
we would have
biased.
missed that, we would have
Yeah,
really been.
even if we took an L, I'm
Good job,
still
good
going with
job.
Tom Izzo. All right.
All right. What is the par of the
Ouch.
course? A. 72. B. 67. C. 74. Or D. 70.
Locked in.
Like par, dude? What is the par of the course?
You know what par is?
I'll find out this Sunday when I go golfing. What is the par of the course? Okay, I got it. Let's go.
I think you need to look up some golf definitions before you go golfing this weekend, Jeff.
Let's
All
do
right.
it. What's the answer?
Locked in?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
I see.
The answer is A.
Dude, Sam,
17.
you say you don't know about golf, but you know about golf.
I mean, par is just something you're going to be significantly over when you go golfing this weekend.
Did Sam Flannel just talk trash in golf language?
Jeff doesn't even understand what that means.
Sam, did you just speak golf and talk trash in golf?
I did.
Yeah.
Wow. That's the richest thing I've ever heard out of your
Do you
mouth.
not understand it?
I get par. I mean, but I don't know what is the par of the course. I don't know the specific par number. I don't know what that is. But you had A. You knew it, Sam.
Yes.
Of course.
All right, next
All right,
up.
I'm ready. I just took L's, man.
What is the purse for the tournament?
Why is it called a purse?
6.7 million, B 8.8 million, C 2 million, or D 5.2 million.
Boy.
The purse?
Yes, how much
locked
money will
in.
they walk away with?
Well, Sam knows purses, so he has an advantage here.
There it is.
I would say. Okay, I got it locked in here.
Locked in. 3, 2, 1.
D.
The answer is B, as in boy. 8.8
Wow.
million. Still not as much as they'd be making on Live Golf.
Come on,
but
man.
Here we are.
Come on. It's rigged. All right.
Next. There's no comeback for you, Jeff, because there is one question left, so there's no recovering at this point.
Sam is a robot. Like, do we?
I think he just uses logic.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
you're about to go golfing this weekend, and you're still a little iffy on par and what that means as opposed to the whole course. I mean, that doesn't bode well for you, man.
Well, trivia, I should have done like a golf lesson so that Jeff knew what he was getting into.
Yeah, like out of all the sports, I don't golf.
That's fair.
But I can putt. I can putt.
There you go.
Like that's like the most like basic thing you could say, but I can't golf. The par I understand, but the par for the course, I don't know off the top of my head. I don't. I'm sorry.
Jeff, you're a
The length of the
casual.
course now? Is that the question now? What is the length of the course?
Yeah, the length of the course. Ready? What is the length of the course?
Oh,
A,
jeez.
6,300 yards. B, 8,430 yards. C, 7,370 yards. Or D, 5,050 yards.
I'm locked in.
Of course you are, dude. It just comes right to your brain immediately when you see these four answers. I'm ready. Let's go.
3, 2, 1.
A.
D.
The answer is C.
Thank gosh. I don't even care that I got it wrong. I'm just happy you got it wrong.
370 yards, and I hope you all learned something today that you can take into the weekend, be super knowledgeable as you are going about your pre-holiday weekend.
You know, Jeff, I am a humble man, so I'd like to extend the hand of good game, sir.
Good game, sir. You know what, Sam? I might have taken L once again, but trivia, I'm not even mad about. I mean, if we do show trivia, you're volunteering as tribute.
Oh, for sure.
Like you're holding it
I'm
down for
Katniss
the morning
Everdeen.
show. Okay,
100%.
that's fair.
Who do you
We'll
think
leave
would
it.
be best at trivia in the network?
Maybe Maz.
Oh, Maz. Yeah. Neil would be good.
I still think I got them both beat, though. I really do.
Wow.
I'm an old soul, man.
Okay. I love the confidence. No problem with the confidence at all. We're going to go to break. When we come back, we have a lot more to get to. But, Sam, can you tell everybody where they can get their haircut?
Oh, yes, where I can get my haircut. Because when I'm around all of these specimens and studs over here, there is too many to name. I'm going to try Jake, Griffin, Brady, Alex, Jeremy, JB, Lucas, Booner, Gabby D. Phillips, and Jeff Iafrate. I got to be looking my best, so I go to Lady Jane's, and they always have me looking this good every single day. And you can walk into any Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one, but two vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you and one for your wife, girlfriend, or best bud. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Hey, it's Sean Jordan from the Sports Marketing Agency, and SMA wouldn't be who we are without our amazing partners.
Thank you so much, Sean. You know, at Detroit Wayne, we want to serve as a resource for you and your families. We offer mental health services, substance use disorder services throughout our communities, and we want to be that source and resource within the community.
If you or a loved one are suffering from a mental health or substance abuse issue, please don't hesitate to call 1-800-241-4949.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here at woodwardsports.com. Today we're in a different location. We are at Dispo and Romeo. Thanks so much to our fantastic partners here, the exclusive Dispo, the dispensary of Woodward Sports Network. We're happy to be down here all day for all the shows. Big D Energy, Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, and the heavyweights, Easy, the resident Dispo man, will be on here later tonight. So stick around all day for great info on what they're doing down here at Dispo. Follow us on all social media at Woodward Sports. Like, subscribe, download this podcast, leave a 5-star review. If that doesn't make you leave a 5-star review, I don't know what will. But we found out in the last segment that Jeff has zero golf knowledge whatsoever, and he's going golfing for the first time this weekend. And it's the Rocket Mortgage Classic this weekend. So I think we prepare him a little bit for his golf adventure. What do you say, Jeff?
Well, I don't know how well I'm going to play. I think I'm going to most likely play terribly.
Sure.
I think we already know the outcome. And it'll be interesting. It's and this is what I hate about golf. If you have 4 people playing, what is it called?
Scramble, right?
So it's not a foursome?
Oh, is it a foursome?
It's a foursome. See, like
Foursome.
that's you know what? That's example A of why I don't speak to other people about golf and what I'm doing. Because it was, hey, I'm going to have a foursome on Sunday morning with some dudes, some buddies of mine.
Oh, with some buddies, with some dudes.
Like that just sounds. That just like it doesn't. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right. You said a scramble. What is that?
Isn't that where you just go where? God, it's hard to explain. Yeah, whatever the best.
So you're each in a pair.
Okay, then
You tee off, and whoever in your pair had the better drive or hit or putt, you go from their ball.
I was striving.
I'd rather play that. I mean, I don't know if whoever hits the best ball.
You realize that you can be in a foursome and play a scramble.
See, when I think of being in a foursome, I would most likely scramble the hell away. But
play golf with some buddies. How about you just stick with that?
Yeah, well, on Sunday morning, I'm actually going. It's me, my stepdad, and my girl's dad and little brother. So it'll be interesting. It'll be an interesting duo, group of people. It'll be a lot of fun. Now, I'm not going to call it a foursome, nor will I call it a foursome on Sunday morning. But it's still going to be fun. It's my first time playing. I mean, I've went to the driving range. I've went to play putt-putt. I've never played on an actual golf course. I don't even know what to expect. All I know is I like smoking cigars, and I don't mind some alcoholic beverages on occasion. So I think it'll be fun. So even if I suck, Sam.
Here's the question. Are the people that you're going with, do you know, are they experienced golfers or are they newbies like you?
Oh, I would say I'm the worst.
You would say you're the worst?
Safely, yes.
How much? How much do you think? Like, are they avid golfers?
Well, the people I'm playing with?
Yeah.
Well, they're better than me. I'd say they're average. Everybody's about average. No one's a lead or anything like that. I'm the most inexperienced, so I'm definitely the worst. But I don't think it'll be a significant difference. I mean, they're better, but they're not going to smoke me, I don't think, out of the water.
Well, then you have to play scramble then, because won't you hold people up? And I'm not saying that even yes, and I'm not even saying that to talk smack. I mean, I've only been golfing a couple of times, and I was so bad. And let me just paint a picture for something that Jeff Iafrate might experience this weekend. There were a couple of times the last time where I went golfing, one of the 2 in my life, where I would actually go to tee off and drive the ball, and I would completely whiff. I didn't even know that could happen. And then there were a few times I got so frustrated, and hopefully this doesn't happen to you. I was a very young man at the time, where I just took the driver and just chucked it because it's so damn frustrating. But you know what? You're gonna have a better time than I did golfing. I hope so. For your sake.
People in the comments are hilarious, man. Coach Walk 37. Oh, Jeff, you're gonna be humbled this weekend. Jack says Jeff is screwed. Chuck says Jeff is dead. RJ says Jeff, ask them to scramble. I definitely will. RJ, I definitely will. Let's see. Broder. Shout out to Broder for chiming in. He says, it's a blast, Jeff. You're going to have a good time. Don't worry about how bad you play. I know, but it's the competitor in me. Like everything I do, I try to I want to be the best at it. But sometimes it's just out of your control. Like I just suck. Like there's nothing really to do there unless I work at it. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know if I'll ever. Maybe we'll go on a golfing trip sometime. Maybe we can go as a network.
Yeah, and then we could both be at kind of the same level, so that we're not worried about holding people up, because there is that factor of when you're playing with experienced people, which I have before, the gaze they have on you when you're double, triple, quadruple bogeying, while you're whiffing, while you're putting balls into the water. It gets frustrating, especially as a young man like myself. I would get really pouty and stuff, but I think you have the maturity as a very fine, upstanding gentleman that you will be just fine.
Corey Berry says, swallow your pride and a little bourbon and you'll be fine. I like where your head's at, Corey Berry. This comment too, Steven says, Jeff, you can't finish behind your girl and her younger sibling, LOL. Yeah, no, I can't. Well, it's her dad and her younger sibling, but still, that's a man card being revoked. I at least have to hold my own. I have to hold my own. I can't get sunned out there. It just can't happen. Jake says, watch Jeff come in Monday with a pole and a visor and be a diehard golfer going forward. Now that's Hollywood. That's Hollywood. I come in on Monday.
Visor or whatever. Is that gonna be you on Monday's edition of the Morning Woodward Show?
I'll start talking par and I'll have all this rich people talk about golf and start telling you why you're bad and why I'm superior. No, it's not going to happen. I'll come in and tell you guys on Monday how bad I am. I can't wait. It's going to be fun. Let's see, Bogar says, if beers are not being deleted on the course, I'm not there. I don't know if you meant deleted or delivered. Either way, I'm
Probably
with you.
delivered.
Yeah, I think you need stogies. Sam, if you and Gabby squared off in golf, who's a better golfer?
I would probably.
Are you better than Gabby?
Probably not. You know what, and that's okay, Booner.
You'll have to wait until Sunday to see some of my appearances within the episode on this Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
Well, and then I have to see that before I can make an objective.
Yeah, Sam, what's your resume?
I don't have a resume when it comes to golf. I'm a terrible golfer. I mean, like, shoot, if we played each other right now, as much as I smoked you in trivia, I have a lot of sympathy for you, a lot of empathy for you, because I would be just as bad. That's the thing, man. I'm not good at much when it comes to athletics, but, man, I know some things about them, and I'm pretty damn good at trivia. I'll give myself that.
This comment right here. Broder says, Jeff, that's how you play. For every beer you finish, you take a stroke off your final score.
Ooh.
That's, well, I'm going to be plastered then because I'm going to need it. We're definitely going to need it. A-Diz says, get some gummies, Jeff, for golf trip. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check out Dispo and see if, they got the deals, because we know they're going to have the deals. Maybe? I mean, you see the products lined up at the desk. We'll see what I can bring up on the golf course.
Tim, so we were out on the course for the first episode of the Celebrity Golf Tour, and he was having some issues with his elbow. Golfing the day before, hurt his elbow, got out on the golf course that day, and he was like, man, this is just not feeling right. He gets out there. He's like, you know what I have in my golf bag? I have a roll-on CBD, THC, I'm not entirely sure what it is. I'm sure Dispo could fill us in. Ointment for his, I can't think of the right words, for his, essentially tennis elbow. And all of a sudden, he went from playing terribly to playing so well again, and I really wish it was...
How do you get injured in golf?
You could just tweak things, pull things. I mean, you're not like
what are you, day-to-day?
Down with like a
with a sore elbow,
broken ankle or anything. You could fall out of the cart.
Well, I've never. I mean, I know. I get it's a thing. I mean, your body is under strain. You're doing something. Maybe your elbow can be sore.
Yeah.
But dude,
it definitely could hurt your back. I will say that, like the twisting action of your back repeatedly for a very long time, and if you're muscling it the wrong way, it can hurt your back.
Well,
so watch out for that.
I do have. My lower back sometimes can't get out of whack, so hopefully that doesn't happen.
I'll make again.
I'm gonna be out for a week after Sunday's golf trip. John Lord says
heating pad on the chair for you on Monday.
I'm nervous. Watch, I'd be the person that goes Sunday and like does something, injures myself, sore elbow, something stupid like that. Like John says, oh God, Jeff might pull a hammy. I think I'd be the guy to pull a hammy on a golf course. I mean, that's sad.
Well, I mean, the good news is if you need to take a little bit of a sabbatical after your rough golf weekend, I can run the show for a couple of days. I'm sure you guys would all love that in the chat.
I would love to just do that to see the chat. That's what I'm here for, baby, is the chat, because people are chiming in here. Mike G says, Jeff, if your back goes out, just get a Deshaun massage. Oh. All right, we're going to break here. Let's just get out of here as fast as we can. Wow. Speaking of Deshaun Watson, if you do something like that, you're gonna need a good defense to get you out of that sticky situation. Oh God, I don't want to use that word. Guardian Alarm. Let me tell you about our friends over at Guardian Alarm. They got customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, and technology backed by wonderful people. Give them a call at 1-800-STAY-OUT for more information on better protection.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here at woodwardsports.com. Thanks so much for tuning in on this Friday. We are at Dispo and Romeo. You're going to want to check it out over here. They have a fantastic facility, amazing bud tenders that will hook you up whether you are new to cannabis or you're experienced. They have everything for everyone here. They'll take care of you. They take care of us. We're super grateful for everyone here at Dispo. And if you're watching the show on YouTube, like and subscribe, listening via podcast, download this episode and leave a 5-star review. And if you're watching on the website, check out everything else that we have going on. We had some awesome merchandise go up yesterday that you're going to want to go and find on the website. But we have a holiday weekend incoming, guys. Little pre-holiday weekend. Tuesday's 4th of July. So what are you guys getting up to this weekend aside from the attempting to golf?
Well, Sam, we already kind of shredded me on my attempt at golf. We'll start with you. What do you got planned this weekend?
You know what, Jeff? I'm sure you will do just fine, and you will have fun because at the end of the day, I am your friend, and I want you to have fun and enjoy yourself. But Eddie, let me just get that out there. You're my guy, bro. You're my
I appreciate you, Sam.
But
always.
Eddie, when it comes to my weekend, so tonight I actually have some pretty firm plans. Me and the wife and my sister and her boyfriend are having a little bit of a double date tonight. I probably might just go straight from here to there. We'll see when I get out here.
What double date where?
So the TV show Friends. I'm sure we've all heard of it. I'm sure to the shock of absolutely no one, I like Friends. And my sister is a big fan of the TV show Friends. And they're doing like a pop-up location where they're recreating the set of Friends inside of a building.
Oh, that's cool.
We're going to do a double. Yeah. I mean, are you a Friends fan, Gabby?
Yeah, I love Friends.
Yes, it is going to be fun. I'm glad that I'm able to do that with my sister as well because I am a big Friends fan, but she is the biggest Friends fanatic on the planet. And now that we're both a little bit older, I'm in my early 30s, she's in her late 20s, we have our relationships. I'm married now. She's got a long-term relationship. And those are just the kind of fun things that you do with your siblings when you grow up. So I'm very, very excited about it.
What about...
Do you think that I am a Rachel, a Monica, or a Phoebe?
I don't understand any of these references. I'm sorry.
You are a Monica.
What the hell does that mean?
That means that, like, I actually like Monica, but slightly...
Slightly anal.
Right, that is the right word. Attention to detail, but that's okay. This isn't an insult. This is actually the truth. I actually like Monica better than Rachel, for the record, if that means anything.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Who do you fancy yourself as, Gabby?
I don't know. I think I'm a little bit of a mix between a Monica and a Rachel.
Yeah.
But I can see the Monica tendencies.
And that's
Not in a
okay.
bad way. It's okay.
That's okay.
Yes. Dude, I gotta stop. I gotta take some time to not indulge in sports and actually watch things.
Please tell me you've seen Friends though.
Friends, I have not. I've seen an episode, but I don't even know who Monica. Who I know Jennifer Aniston. Which one is she?
American?
She's Rachel.
She's Rachel.
Yes.
Okay. I love Jennifer Aniston. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for Jennifer Aniston, but I don't know Friends. No, I'm not familiar.
No, and you know what? That is
no one's surprise. No one's surprise.
That is perfectly okay, and maybe we can. I want you guys' answers in the chat, Gabby. I want you to answer this too. Were Ross and Rachel, in fact, on a break?
They were on a break, but I don't think it was the type of break where you can go around messing around.
Booner, I know you're a Friends person. I know you'd have. So were they on a break? They were on a break. Ooh.
It says they were on a break.
So here's the thing, and I know we're going to geek out over Friends for a second. The whole bit of we were on a break is one of the funniest bits in the history of Friends. But I disagree. I think that they were not on a break because they literally broke up in quotations because of a massive miscommunication. And then he goes out and sleeps with someone else that exact same night. That's not just...
That was the big mistake. You got to give it a tiny bit of time to really tread the waters and see what it is. Was it a break or was it a breakup or was it a pause or were you just fighting?
If you feel bad about doing it, then it wasn't a break. Exactly. Jeff, what are you up in arms about, my man? What are you up in arms about?
What the hell are you guys talking about?
Well, I mean,
who broke up? What? Why? And who cares? Well, is it like a big deal? They had a breakup on the what?
It's a big deal on Friends, that's for sure.
It is a big deal in pop culture entirely.
Yes. Are people chiming in with their?
Yeah, someone. This comment, he says, and I forgot who said it. They were talking about Jeff. Nick says Jeff finna get his white card revoked. Yeah, I don't know. Friends I don't know. I just never sat there and tuned into Friends. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Never done it.
And that's okay. And I want to just state for the record that my favorite character is indeed Chandler.
Geez.
That's who I kind of like remind myself of from time to time. Booner, what about you? I like Joey. Joey, you're a Joey. Gabby?
I think he's Joey on his keychain. I think he's Joey. I think you're kind of a Ross.
I can see that. I'm a little bit of a...
Not a bad thing.
No,
the thing is, I don't think it's bad if you're any of the Friends characters.
Right. They're all lovable in their own way, and I know Booner didn't have a mic, but I have to definitely get this out there. You have a Lego Joey on just... My keychain. On your key... that's a little bit extra. He has a Lego Joey on his keychain, but at the same time, I don't hate the fanaticism. I can't hate it.
Look at this. Mike G says Flannel is Ross, and then KP from 3 says Jeff is Joey. Is that good? What is that?
You're
Jeff,
a little bit...
Jeff is a little bit... The only reason Jeff is Joey is because he's Italian.
Yeah,
is he Italian?
But you're a lot more intelligent
so now
than
you'll want to
he is.
watch the show because there's an Italian in it.
There you go.
Well,
Tribbiani's his last name.
You said Joey's kind of... Is he like he's like a Chad? Like, what do you mean? Like, is he like a...
He's just kind of a lovable...
Like, he's not very intelligent? He's
not
just
very intelligent, no.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm going to separate from that. Know
Joey,
what?
Joey is like a bit of a meathead.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay away from
Without the
Joey.
sports.
Mike says Jeff is not Joey. Joey is funny. Wow, Mike. That's You know what?
Jeff is a very funny guy.
That's uncalled for, Mike. I'm ashamed of you.
You guys
know
going
what?
to any barbecues this weekend?
No barbecues.
That's...
You know what? Maybe. That I'm not going to answer yet. There may be some barbecue action.
I mean, I'm sure at the in-laws' house they're going to come up with something, but right now my plans past Friday are pretty open-ended. I'm sure me and my wife are going to do a few things this weekend, but we shall see. Sometimes the weekends that are a little bit more spontaneous can be the most fun, because if there's the option, if I'm a little tired, I can rest, but I'm pretty creative when it comes to dates, so I'm sure I'll come up with something special.
Well, I'll tell you what. I have never watched Friends, but you know what? If I were to watch Friends, I'd probably indulge in some of these products from Dispo to enjoy it. Because I'll tell you what, you come over to Dispo here in Romeo, we'll be here all day, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., come through, show support. They got the deals. They got everything going on. People are showing up as we speak. So get over here and elevate your senses and embrace the harmony of nature at Dispo Dispensary. Whether you're a seasoned connoisseur or new to the game, like a Sam Flannel who maybe wants to get into it, Dispo can take care of you. They have over 10 locations with experienced bud tenders ready to serve your needs. Visit disposhops.com today. That is DISPO shops.com, your local plug.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here at woodwardsports.com. Thanks so much for tuning in this morning, closing out your Friday morning with us. We really appreciate it. And if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. Follow us on all social media at Woodward Sports. If you're watching on the website, check out all the content. We continue on all weekend with articles, merchandise, everything for you to cover your sports, Detroit and beyond. But right now, it's time for Mailbag, a special Mailbag at Dispo segment. What do you guys say?
So let's get to some of these questions. Jack says, Mailbag. Gabby, you ready for FSU versus Clemson? Go Tigers.
Yes. Very ready. It'll happen eventually. It's in September, I think September 23rd. We have time. Be patient.
Steve says, Mailbag, who are the Pistons going to sign first? Well, that's a great question to start, Steve. It starts at 6 o'clock. I would assume that the number one guy they're going to be chasing is clearly Cam Johnson. Now, the specifics of a deal, and it's tough because Rod mentioned this on From Half Court. We talked to him earlier this week, and he had a great point. When you chase a restricted free agent, Sam, and you know this, when you submit an offer, that offer isn't accepted immediately. No. There's a time period in which the Nets have to accept or match the offer, and when you offer him what they offer him, that is already on your cap. Like if you offer him a $30 million per year deal for 4 years, $30 million's off your cap until that offer's matched.
Sure.
So if you pursue Cam today and you throw him an offer, you're done. Essentially in free agency. So I'm curious what they do, but I would assume it's Cam Johnson.
Yeah, I would assume Cam Johnson too. I'm at the point where I'm kind of like Cam Johnson no matter what. And I get that $30 million a year. That seems pretty steep for somebody like Cam Johnson, but the Pistons can afford it, and he is a need. And like I always say, he's a 16-point-a-game guy who shoots 40% from three and can guard multiple positions, particularly the wing. That is exactly the type of player that would pair perfectly with Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey. So I'm all about Cam Johnson. If the Pistons don't get him, there's just not a whole lot out there to be excited about, especially since Harrison Barnes is now off the market.
Gary says, Mailbag, if the Lions signed wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, would they win 2 more games? I mean, undefeated, JB says.
Undefeated, never lost.
Undefeated, never lost. I would say he's a good enough player to affect it. I think what would help them, Sam, is you would be more favorited or at least less of an underdog in those first 6 games.
Sure.
He would definitely help the odds, but I hate talking specifics because DeAndre doesn't play both sides of the ball. I don't know how much he would affect it, but they would be better with DeAndre.
Yeah, they would most certainly be better. And I think there's a misconception out there that he's washed or he's old. I mean, he had over 700 receiving yards last year and only 9 games played.
That's crazy.
That is very, very good. That's like a typical DeAndre Hopkins season, which was unfortunately cut short by a suspension. 2 games, I'll tell you what. With J-Mo being out the first 6 weeks, wouldn't you want to have a DeAndre Hopkins to play against maybe the Kansas City Chiefs, who you might have to outscore, or even Seattle or at Green Bay?
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
where I think he'd be most valuable.
And because we just got done talking earlier about who do you double.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Fits right into it. Eric Allen says, Mailbag, Jeff, how long are you going to be up there for? I'm going to be stopping up there in a couple hours and was wondering if I can be able to finally meet you in person. Of course, Eric. I'll be here all day for the most part. Come through, say hello, and I would love to meet you. So we'll be here for the time being until 7 p.m., everybody. So all day. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's now or later. Come to Dispo in Romeo today and show some love. Let's see here. Get some of these questions. Jack says, Mailbag, can we get college football trivia before the season starts?
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Jeff, you have no chance.
Sam, you're a robot. I don't have any chance in any trivia.
I mean, college football, that is my favorite sport. That is my wheelhouse. You have no chance.
What do you think is an even playing field topic?
Maybe
NFL, NBA.
Yeah.
I got them. Or at least it's a much closer. Because what did we do? We did NBA, didn't we, not too long ago? Was that NBA or what was that? The draft?
Detroit sports.
Detroit sports, and I still got decimated. But still, Sam's a robot. What do you want from me? The guy is human chat GPT.
Human chat GPT.
like you throw a question at Sam, and it's like it processes. It's like beep 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 beep, and then an answer just comes out.
Well, I got the advantage of age and wisdom too, and that's not nothing, by the way. But Jeff, you're very mature for your age, but you don't quite have the wisdom that a 30-year-old man like me.
Did he just sun me? Did I just get sunned by Sam?
Yes.
I don't know. Can I confirm that?
That was.
Young man.
Young man. There you go. Broder says Flannel's the Harry Mack of trivia. Broder, I don't know if he's the GOAT, but you know what? That's fair. Chuck Brewer says, how about a competition of skills? Foot race, hoops, slap shot.
I think Jeff's got me in that one.
All right, well.
That's fair.
But that kind of supports the whole Joey thing. Didn't you say he's a meathead?
Yeah.
So if I can't do trivia, but I can do these physical things, then that kind of helps.
But
that
Jeff,
case.
you're a very intelligent person. Joey is not. At least, I mean, he's very lovable, but he just doesn't have any smarts.
Broder says Flannel's Kirby Joseph and Jeff is Aaron Rodgers. Broder, that's uncalled for.
Wow.
That's uncalled. But you wouldn't agree that Kirby's his dad.
Well, and I'm not.
And he didn't even get Kirby a Father's Day gift. That's disrespectful.
I mean, to be fair, Kirby Joseph had 3 interceptions against Aaron Rodgers, 3 of his 4. That is pretty damning, and I'm very, very glad they happened because they were hugely beneficial in 2 Lions wins over the Packers. I'll give you that.
Your mother, what a YouTube name, by the way. Your mother asks, how many dogs is Joey Chestnut winning by this year? I think the only person that can guzzle as many glizzies as Joey Chestnut would be this man to my left.
Oh, me.
I think you could actually, especially if we put that Pepsi ketchup stuff we went through yesterday, you put that on the glizzies, Sam. I think you'd take them.
You know, I don't think I could take Joey Chestnut, but it would be closer than you think, and that is not a lie.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't admit that. Don't admit that. I'll tell you what, I appreciate every single one of you guys for taking the time out of your day to join us here. Remote show at Dispensary, the Dispo, the best one I've ever attended to, and I can speak to that. Dispo, again, for how they care about their customers, the experience. I mean, you look at all the checklist for going to a dispensary. Dispo checks everything.
Yes.
And shout out to Sean, Darren, Toby, all the guys here at Dispo for allowing us to come through and do a remote show. Again, Big D Energy, Ermanni and Edwards, the heavyweights will all be here as well. You guys are going to want to stick around for that, but we appreciate you. I hope you all have a great 4th of July weekend, and we'll see you next week. From Jeff Iafrate, Sam Flannel, Gabby D. Phillips, Lucas Klotz, and JB, who don't have mics or cameras today, but they will be back. We'll see you guys on Monday.